Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Capital City News, your connection to Salt Lake City government. On this week's episode, we hear from Salt Lake City firefighter Virginia Dickinson about her experience fighting the Woolsey Fire in Southern California. And our History Minute is about the 8th installment of our History of Real. Let's get started with our legislative update and look back. At its November 27th meeting, the City Council recognized Councilmember Derek Kitchen for 3 years of service on the City Council and 2 years of leadership on the Redevelopment Agency. Kitchen will leave January 2019 to begin serving in the Utah State Legislature. The Council was also briefed on the potential for the city to host a future Winter Olympics. To learn more, visit SLCcouncil.com. For the first time ever, the United Nations Global Communications NGO Conference is coming to Salt Lake City in August of 2019. Mayor Biskupski, United Nations officials, along with local dignitaries, announced plans to host the 68th annual conference focusing on empowering sustainable communities. Next year's conference will showcase Salt Lake City's work to help lead the way on global issues. Salt Lake City is the first location in the nation outside of New York City to host this conference, bringing the most international audience to Utah since the 2002 Olympics. In early November, a devastating fire ravaged the Southern California area of Thousand Oaks, and 9 Salt Lake City firefighters were deployed to help assist with the Woolsey Fire, including firefighter Virginia Dickinson. On this week's Capital City News episode, we hear her story and what it was like.
My name is V. Dickinson. I'm a firefighter with Salt Lake City Fire Department. I've been on the job now coming up on 2.5 years, so still very new to the career. But I graduated with a BA into the recession, spent 7 years in sales, and realized I didn't want to spend my life making somebody else money. I needed to have more purpose in life. And I actually went to a public safety career fair at the public safety building downtown. And the firefighters said, "Hey, you should be a firefighter." It's like, that's a really good idea. So I tested, I went through the process, and here I am. And like I said, I can't imagine doing anything else. I know that this was what I'm supposed to do. As we start watching the news, you hear about these fires, you kind of perk your ear. And then you know, especially as Camp Fire grew, as Woolsey grew, you knew that there was a possibility that we could be sending a team. And I got the phone call from the chief. He said, "Are you willing to deploy tomorrow to go to California?" I said, "Absolutely. I want to help. I want to go do my part." And I know that every single one of us feels that way. We took 2 apparatus and 9 members from Salt Lake City, and we were part of the Utah Task Force. So we went with a lot of different agencies throughout the state. My engineer here at Station 9 was my engineer on deployment. So that was really neat to get to go with somebody who I have a really close relationship with already. You know, he's like a big brother to me. The command scale when you get to camp is a huge learning experience, but it was overwhelming. You get there and there are engines from Texas, from Montana, from Utah, and then you see just how many CAL FIRE engines there are, and that they're calling in for help with the resources that they have. It's a very powerful experience. My favorite part about being a firefighter is the family. You live, sleep, eat, go into dangerous situations with your crew. And that extends to any agency. When you go out and you're assigned a task force or you're assigned a division with different people and people that you've never met before, it doesn't matter. They're your brothers and sisters, and you feel that camaraderie. You're one tiny little cog in a huge machine, and it's just this common cause. Everybody's fighting for the same goal. I feel so grateful that I was picked to go. I was on that list. It was an immense learning experience for me, especially being somebody so new on the job. You know, when you flip on the news in the morning, you see all of the bad things that happen out there, the natural disasters, the human disasters, all of the negativity in the world. And it was really important for me as I made this career change, or as I stumbled into this career, that I wanted to be part of the good guys. You know, I wanted to know that in some small, tiny way, I'm making somebody else's life a little bit better. And that is single-handedly why I'm here, and why when you get that call to deploy, there's no question. It says, I'm going. I want to go help. I want to go do my part.
And now it's time for our History Minute.
As soon as E.H. Harriman took control of the Salt Lake streetcar system, he began updating the trains, modernized the maintenance shops, power lines, plants, and everything else. Harriman then commissioned a state-of-the-art facility to house and maintain his ever-increasing fleet of streetcars. As the new home of public transit in Salt Lake City, Harriman chose a 10-acre plot of land on the east side that had been set aside by Brigham Young as the 10th Ward Square, then designated in 1889 as the official territorial fairgrounds. By 1902, it was too small to be used in that capacity and was abandoned. Harriman scooped it up and constructed the massive building that we know today as Trolley Square. This building could hold 144 double-truck streetcars. It was divided into 4 massive bays with 4 tracks each. 208 skylights provided the light for the building. Because fire was always a risk, Harriman included the now iconic 50,000-gallon water tower to the plans, hoping to keep the entire operation self-sufficient. In an effort to remain completely independent, he even had blacksmiths and carpenters on site, building spare parts by hand so there would be no delay in shipping parts across the prairie to keep the Salt Lake City streetcars functioning.
Thanks for watching another episode of Capital City News. Be sure to tune in next time to stay up to date on all the latest. Now through December, Salt Lake City is hosting the 35th Annual Holiday Craft Market. Be sure to get out and do your holiday shopping the local way. For details, visit saltlakearts.org. For SLCtv, I'm Poonam Kumar signing off from the Public Safety Building.